It's your boy Dragon Pharaoh, and I'm gonna keep this short and simple. I've just seen a video, and I've seen this video several times, so I'm just gonna play it real quick, and then I'm gonna tell you how I feel about it.
Some of you may heard, some of you may not have heard, but that they have actually found Noah's Ark exactly where the Bible says you will find it. Now, this is a picture that was taken by a drone pretty high above Mount Ararat, and it shows the outlining of the Ark. Now, as archaeologists and scientists started to explore further deeper into the mountain, they started coming across these rooms that were made out of wood in the middle of a mountain. Here's another picture that was taken of a piece of wood that was inside the middle of this mountain. Now here's another article, and it's legit. Noah's Ark of Fact and match 3 non-biblical accounts. Atheist. And here it says that the Ark's location is on Mount Ararat in Turkey. Now let's go to Genesis 8:4. And the Ark rested in the 7th month, on the 17th day of the month, upon the mountains of Ararat. Also, the measurements taken on this structure in the mountain match the exact same biblical measurements. Hold on, stop scrolling. Now some of you...
The reason why you're finding evidence of things mentioned in the Bible is because the Masons who wrote the Bible put it in there. It ain't hard to tell. The reason why you're equating is because what this video is saying is that's proof of God that the Noah's Ark is where the Bible says it is. There's several places that people say the Ark is because they found boats like that in several different places. But being that there's a boat exactly saying what she's saying about it, the Bible was written before you got to it. So that means anybody who had their hand on it can manipulate it however. Everybody's using the Bible for proof of God for their own reasons, but they don't realize it's only inspired by God, told by the words of men who are in a secret society. Now, if you don't know that, I feel sorry for you, because your job is to seek knowledge according to the religion that goes along with what we're talking about. If you do not understand that you're supposed to know where this Bible comes from, who wrote it, who printed it out, and if you're a fool who believes that God wrote this Bible, then you're going to dwell in the very hell that you imagine. And the only reason why you deserve that hell is because you're creating that hell for yourself. The Bible doesn't mean what you think it means. Stop putting it in the same old narrative that's been given to you, handed down to you for the past 400 or 500 years, because you're looking at it wrong. If you're talking like this, if you're trying to prove that God wrote this Bible, when the Bible is, it is obviously known that it's written by people of a certain society who feel that God gave them a message to give to the world. And the problem with that part is that message was construed several hundred times probably talking thousands of years. The book you know as the Bible is already supposed to be 2,000 years old, or 1,000 and some change. And that translation was stolen from another book that was 1,000 years old, which was also stolen from another book that was 1,000 years old. The reason why the people who talk like this and try to prove that God wrote this Bible and this Bible is pointing you to the ultimate God only want you to believe that they're right. It's not about actually finding about God. It's about saying, yo, I'm right and you're wrong. That's why she said atheist. If you read the book, you're not supposed to do that. Not only is she bragging, she's boasting. She has not checked the log in her eye before she checked her neighbors. So how do you not do the research that you're supposed to do to understand the religion that you believe in? So before you put a video out saying, yeah, this is proof of God. Proof of God is everywhere. If you don't see God in front of your face, I feel sorry for you. God is everywhere. Trees, water, air. You breathe. Your heart beats by itself. You don't have to think about beating. Your lungs, your circulatory system, your respiratory system, your digestive system. You don't have to think about these things because something pre-programmed you to be able to do all these things. And then you're breathing the very elements. You're part of the very elements that God created. Why do you need the cross to tell you who God is? Why would you put up the very symbol that God says don't? No idol worship, and you put up an idol anyway. You keep putting up this guy, Caesar Borgia or Bologna or whatever his name is. The false image. To this day, that false image haunts our community and controls our community, puts fear in our community because our community is not wise enough to get off the BS. It's going to be good old slaves and keep on being sheep in wolves' clothing. My point is, if you're reading the Bible, the reason you're reading the Bible is to fix yourself. Don't use the Bible to point at nobody else. Don't use the Bible to belittle anybody else and say you're better than the next person or I know more than you, because that's not even what I'm doing. What I'm saying is there's a whole other perspective that you should be looking at. There's a whole other perspective that we got to respect because your perspective ain't the only one. In the story, they talk about Jesus when the woman wanted to touch the hem of his garment. There's two perspectives that you got to understand in this story. And if you only had one perspective, you would not get the whole story. But for your understanding, in our mind, we hear this woman wanted to touch Jesus. And when she touched Jesus, Jesus healed her. But from the opposite perspective, Jesus even turns around and says, yo, you healed yourself. It was your own faith. You did that for you because you believed the God part of you. God is within us all. God is part of us all. And if you don't see that, then you need to put the Bible down. It's not meant for you. Because once you start with the Bible, you're supposed to keep on going up. You're not supposed to stay at the same level. There's more. If you actually know there is more to the Bible. There are so many more books out there. There's so much more history out there. And you got to connect the dots so you know that you're not being misled because it's exactly what's going on. One day you're going to find out that you've been misled, and it's been translated so you can be misled. That's the reason why you're failing. That's the reason why it don't seem like your prayers are working. It's the same reason why you go to church every Sunday and you're not fulfilled even after that fake act that you put on in church. It's time to wake up for real. If y'all want to have that debate, please hit me up. I'm ready for it. Peace, God.